Hey there, demons, it's me, your boy, Ubergamer, from my secret lair deep within. Well, this time I'm not coming from you deep within the mists of Shangri-La. This time I'm coming to you from the amazing world that is Warhammer 40k. Maybe I'm coming from my secret location deep within the war. Forces of chaos have begun to twist and warp my mind. Before you know it, I'll be saying blood for the blood god. Stuff of that nature. But maybe another day. For today, we are working for the Imperium, for the Emperor, for the God Emperor of mankind. And yeah, I know it's been a time since I made either a Dawn of War video or really any video, so I apologize for that. I know for a time I was doing some Soda Stream videos. Not Soda Stream, oh my gosh, the Soda thing, Soda Quest. It's been so long since I played it, I can't even remember, but my gosh, this is really noisy here. Hold on 1 second, guys, I'm going to turn down a bit so I can hear myself talk here. Put that on half. That's still too loud. Oh, there we go. Okay, my gosh, couldn't even hear myself talk here. Okay, so yeah, like I said, it's been a time, sorry about that. Just been going through some stuff in my personal life, but it's all good. I'm here to make some more videos, hopefully, and entertain y'all. I really have no idea what to do. But I can tell that my videos are popular, so I'm just going to do what I feel like doing. If people enjoy it, cool. They don't, well, suck my dick. But anyways, I realized I have a ton of fun playing Dawn of War Soulstorm. So that's what I'm going to play. Well, it's okay. Actually, recently, just yesterday, I got done completing the entire Dawn of War Soulstorm campaign as every single race. In just a second here, I'll show you the level of achievement that would be once we're done loading here. Loading screens, there's many loading screens in this game. God. Also, too, just a result of how much you'd be doing. I think I'm gonna skip the intro. There's a little intro movie that would play, but I just want to show you guys.
It was the sudden appearance of a warp storm at the Kaurava system's outer edge that first caught the attention of the Imperium, and not just the Imperium. After hundreds of years under the neglectful watch of the Imperial Guard, nearly every force in the galaxy would descend upon the planet of Kaurava, bent only on domination and victory. 3 races had long dwelled in there. The Imperial Guard, its supposed rulers, the Orc tribes of Kaurava II, which the Guard had never successfully put down, and the Necron, who had slept undisturbed for untold millennia beneath Kaurava III. Where the Chaos Marines came from, or how, none can say. Did the Warp Storm bring them, or did they bring the Warp Storm? Both appeared suddenly on Kaurava IV, and in an eye blink, half the system's Imperial forces were gone, killed or claimed by the madness of chaos. In quick succession, the others flocked to Kaurava. The Space Marines, the Imperium's super soldiers, descended on Kaurava II, planning to finally cleanse the system, both of the troublesome Orcs and the Chaos Marines, the sworn mortal enemies. The Tau appeared next, not far above, on one of the planet's moons. In the interests of protecting its ordered empire from the effects of human folly, the Tau came seeking to contain the Warp Storm, and in so doing, expand the territory's border. On their moon, they built a mighty fortress, and there forged a space cannon capable of interplanetary devastation. Among the wastes of Kaurava III, The Necrons, perhaps awakened by the disruptive forces of the warp storm, slowly massed their lethal legions. In quick response, webway gates, long unused, flickered to life, and Eldar poured forth, ready to battle their dark, death-dealing adversaries. Meanwhile, in the shadow of an ancient portal gate, the Dark Eldar slipped stealthily out of the murky depths of the webway. They would be like carrion birds, flying above the battlefield, and when all were weary from the fight, make the battlefield into a feasting ground. Last to arrive, and perhaps most to be feared, were the Sisters of Battle, holy maidens and bearers of the God Emperor's faith. They had come to cleanse the system of corruption and filth. Their faith left them fanatical, unafraid of death and zealous in their cause. Nothing here was clean. All must be purged. Now, war rages anew, and only the victorious may write their history. Only the victorious will claim the planets of Kaurava.
So there we go. That's the intro. Excuse me one second. So that's the intro to Dawn of War Soulstorm. This is following the story of Dawn of War in the very first game. Excuse me, I'm also a bit sick too, so I'm coughing or sneezing. Apologies in advance. In the very first Dawn of War game, you follow Commander Angelos, who was the mentor to this Force Commander, Brother Captain Indrik Boreal. But anyways, in the first Dawn of War, you play as Commander Angelos and his trusty librarian friend, who go through and you fight Chaos, you have to fight the Eldar, you have to fight the Orcs or whatnot. Eventually you have to fight this, spoilers, anyways, you have to fight this giant demon guy or whatever like that. But yeah, it's pretty amazing, and it just continues on. And then there's Winter Assault, which is for the single player campaign. You can play as both it's the good guys races and the bad guys races, and it also introduces my favorite race, the Imperial Guard. This guy, you saw them, so you know a little bit about the races and those guys. The Imperial Guard are not necessarily as much of bitches as the game would make them out to be. They're actually secretly amazing. Excuse me, I'm kind of burpy. Because guys, I've been drinking Rockstar all morning here, and now I've switched to some new Mountain Dew Ice, which I love to death. It's gosh. Pepsi is my favorite tasting soda of all time. I just don't drink it all the time because it goes flat so fast. And Mountain Dew, you can sit and drink it for hours before it goes flat. But this Mountain Dew Ice stuff, it's out in the middle here, turning into a spokesman for Mountain Dew. Just good stuff. It tastes kind of if you kind of like Sprite and Mountain Dew, but kind of wish there was something in between, that would be it. So I buy it fairly often. But anyways, actually those would probably be easier if I just go on down the list. But for starters, I have played this game through on kind of the easy difficulty because it would take god-awful forever on the normal difficulty. I'll explain why later. But I played through every single one of these campaigns. I did it in alphabetical order. I did it with Chaos Lord Faravius Karen in the Chaos, and he gets a cool, a giant gnarly mace thing. He gets a big old a multi-melta. It's basically a super flamethrower, and he eventually, and through as you play, there are kind of in-game, you could think of it maybe as achievements. So once Faravius Karen himself has gotten 2,000 enemy kills, which seems like a lot, it's actually not. It's very easy to get that. You get that maybe the first couple hours of play if you wanted to, or an hour. But maybe not the first hour, but a couple hours. But anyways, you get what's called war gear, and then your war gear are things you can select from a big old list down here, and it'll be like maybe a better gun or better sword, or something to make your guy invisible permanently, or be able to detect infiltrated units, which for anyone that I'm friends with on Steam or seen my Steam screenshots, those I recommend. That's absolutely the first thing you should get. If anyone of you ever watch this video and you're like, man, that Dawn of War game looks awesome, I want to go play that, I'd recommend every time you have a chance for the war gear, the first thing you should pick is the one that detects infiltrated units, because they're a huge pain in the ass. You can't fight them. Some of the things I've learned. But anyways, I played through the entire game as the Chaos. And you go and you capture different territories, like say Chaos, there's a system, let's see, right here, it's actually, Chaos is the only, let's see. Yeah, well, I would say that Chaos is the only race that has their own planet to themselves, like you saw in the intro that the Tau do have their own moon, but it's only one territory. Chaos has several territories they can move out into, so they're very fun to play as. Anyways, I went and got all the, this is included, like I said, I didn't just beat the game, also made sure to follow all the criteria to have to complete all the war gear. One of which is to personally defeat at least, I think it's five computer opponents. So in previous games, and I think it was the last game, so there's Dawn of War, Winter Assault, your brain fart, Dark Crusade, which introduced the Dark Eldar. But anyways, in that game there was, since there was 2 less races and there was only 7, it could be possible for you to lose out on getting the final piece of war gear by the computer. If the computer will act to, think of this like it's basically like a video game version of Risk, along with like a turn-based strategy game. So the computer will move around too, and they'll take territories from other people, and they can even take out another computer opponent. So when I played through the Dark Crusade game, I was doing that as Chaos, I think on hard or something, or whatever, just because I was like, yeah, I'm going to smash this game. It took bloody forever, because you would take a territory, and then you would need to build it up and reinforce it. A huge difference between the Dark Crusade and Soulstorm was that in Dark Crusade, everything that you built, or 90% of the stuff that you built in a mission, would stay. So say you didn't have, pay attention to that, freaking Facebook, I live on Facebook. What's up, Facebook friends? It's also my friend's birthday, so happy birthday, Angela, in case you ever watched this. It's a Friday the 13th also. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Are you superstitious? Let me know in the comments. But my dad was super superstitious. Is that a thing? Superstitious? What if you're just regular, like, stitious? Is that even a thing? Like, you kind of low-key believe in Friday the 13th and, like, not breaking ladders and spilling salt and putting hats on tables and stuff. Which is apparently a thing, too. Apparently, supposedly, superstitious people believe that if you put a hat on a table, that it's inviting death. Whatever. But, anyway, sorry. Going off on a side tangent. In the first game that had this kind of format, not all the Dawn of War games have this same format for the single-player game. The other games are just, like Dawn of War and Winter Assault, are literally just, you get your guys, you play it kind of like StarCraft or whatever. You go, you kill bad guys, whatever. This game adds the, like I said, the risk element, so there's like a map and whatnot. I'll take it. I'll load the game here. I'll show you. There we go. This was my last playthrough as the Tau, so I'll just load this up real quick so you can see. Okay, so yeah, this is all what all the territories look like. These are all colored golden. Excuse me. Because these are ones I control. And you can see there's little numbers next to them, like, say, 10, 3, 2, 1. That is the defensive strength of those territories. So, I mean, I don't have enough requisition to increase any right now, but like, say this right here, the Scaries, it is a defensive strength of 1. It is granting me plus 50 requisition, and while I hold it, I'm able to gain an honor guard of the Vespid Elder Strain. So I get a special honor guard unit that I can train in my commander screen. And there he is. There's the Vespid Elder Strain. So what that means is that wherever my commander is, which is right here, this kind of blinking circle thing here, whatever territory my commander is in currently, he will also carry his honor guard with him. And your honor guard, as you saw right here, you get excessive. Like, look at all these guys. I've got these like recruit guys. I've got robots. Well, he's not a robot. He's in a battle suit. But I've got this a missile gunship, the Skybrave missile gunship, amazing. And I've got these recruit hunting packs and these recruit alpha guys, which they're incredible. They cannibalize people, get permanent health permission. But yeah, so anyway, so that's just like I said, just like the battle map and how you're going. But like I was saying about Dark Crusade. So say I would take and would need to be defending this one here with a strength of 1, and I can't reinforce it. You can reinforce it by adding units, so you can take like, okay, I want to add 1 of these crude carnivore squads. That would cost me 51 requisitions. So that 7. Strength 1, I don't think it would necessarily change the strength. It's still going to stay at 1. But other places, like say for example, okay, this right here, I reinforce this one with all the squads, and then also you can reinforce, once you own a place, you can reinforce it with buildings, like say like the barracks or whatever, so that as long as those barracks stay, and say the Necrons here, they attacked me in this area, I would already have the barracks built. So I have a leg up being able to defend this place, and since it has all the buildings, all the units I can get, this is a strength 10 territory. And the computer AI is a little bit smart, so it'll know if, say, it had a chance, or choice rather, of attacking this territory that is defense strength 10, and this one that is 5, they're going to lean more heavily towards trying to take the 5. They're a little bit smarter like that. They're not too smart. In-game, I'm warning you now, if you guys like see this, you think about picking up Dawn of War. It is a pretty buggy game. Bugs and stuff don't bother me too much. I've played way too many Bethesda games and way too many just video games in general, and I know enough about video games and coding, and I've coded myself, so I know how things interact and stuff like that, so I know how hard it is to have a completely bug-free game. Like RAP back when Blizzard used to make the best games, and even still, I mean, comparatively, the least bug-free games of any game that I've ever seen. They're incredible. Like, I bought months worth of time in Diablo 3, and I can probably count on one hand the number of times I've experienced a bug. But, anyways, gosh, I keep getting so sidetracked. In Dark Crusade game, like I was saying, the way it works differently was in Dark Crusade, say in this Neri settlement, see if I didn't have the strength 10 all built up, it was just strength 1, so I just had like one squad defending it or whatever, or say it was just this one. Over time, I would go and say I get in game and I have my stronghold, my headquarters, and then I build a barracks, and I build my base all up, and I capture strategic points, and I build it up, and I'm building stuff everywhere. In the Dark Crusade game, everything I built on that map is kept the next time I play that map. So the enemy, if I go and attack an enemy and I build up my base a lot in that one area, I can basically invest time into knowing that next time that an enemy attacks that, I will be super heavily defended and I can just crush them right away. The difference between that and Soulstorm is it won't. You'll only have the buildings and stuff that you used requisition, that you spent requisition on to keep. So I could theoretically take, if I didn't pay to get extra squads or get extra whatever, every time I play that map, I'm going to be like, are you kidding me? I've got to rebuild everything, or whatever, which it's one of the things where I mentioned earlier, why the game can take forever, because, like, say for example, right up in here, this was the home base of the Imperial Guard, and this was the home base of the Sisters of Battle. And I had before gotten to where they just keep, like, I try and take one place, and they'll attack this one, and they'll attack this one, and I'll take an attack and defend, and defend, and defend, and then this one right here, Aston, it's like a city map. I played it so many goddamn times, like, it's ridiculous, or whatever. And you either have a choice when you're getting attacked. You can either choose to auto-resolve it, or you can personally resolve the fight yourself. The thing is, though, the game is heavily geared towards punishing you if you auto-resolve, because, like, say for example, I've had times where, say this right here, this section right here, look at all those honor guard, all those guys in this territory right here. This used to be the Eldars, the upper wastes, but then also we can see, in terms of our garrison, we have here, well, they're not, well, that's interesting. It considers it the honor guard or the garrison. But anyways, I have the Tau barracks, I have got a Crute shaping center, I have power generators there, and I also have a path to enlightenment. This is for the Tau specifically. The other races would be able to also, instead of this the path to enlightenment place, they would be able to build gun turrets. Tau don't get gun turrets, which is dumb to me, but whatever. But anyways, if they attacked here, I forgot where I was going with this. It would be a strength 10, and then, sorry guys, like I said, I'm kind of sick of, I apologize, I'm rambling so much. That's right, I was talking about the enemy attacking here, and me having to do it over and over and over again. It just can be, it's fun still, it can be a huge waste of time. It's kind of why eventually I got to where, after I'm playing a race for like the 6th or the 7th or the 8th or the 9th race or whatever like that, I wasn't really taking and playing the game like normally, I guess. Like, you go and you create your first guys and you send them out to capture strategic points which give you resource, and you do whatever. But eventually I was just like, okay, look, I've done this mission I don't know how many times. When I did all these as a Tau, most of these I basically just came in with my commander, my Force Commander, not my Force Commander, my Tau Commander, and his Honor Guard, and I knew already where the enemy bases were, so I just smashed through. But anyways, I was thinking of doing this as like a play, not a playthrough, but just do a little, what's called skirmish. But I need to see. No, that's what I need to see. What am I already doing? So this is what the Tau kind of look like. This is a fire order. These are my favorite. Imperial Guard, 83rd Krieg Death Corps, pretty awesome. My favorite custom army painter, though, is my House of Doom, my Imperial Guard, that they're all decked out in just black and white camo. Get these awesome looking skull banners that I always use. And I think they make the commander here look pretty sweet, too.
It was the sudden appearance.
Okay, there we go. But anyways, so that was a bit of description of that. Like I was saying, I went through all of these, and some of these guys, I just wish so many people would play the games that I do, because they're so cool, and there's just such cool stuff. And there's, between all of these, like these 9 different races, like there's going to be someone for everyone, like someone that probably most anyone enjoys. I mean, if you like at least turn-based, real-time strategy games or whatever. I wish there was more good turn-based strategy games. Most of them make me nuts. Like, so there's like Chaos, and they're basically like, there's the Imperial Guard, or like the intro video, it said they're super soldiers. So they're like basically genetically modified, like superhumans that can live longer than other people, and their leaders among them have lived for thousands of years, just insane. But then the highest leader, the God Emperor of mankind, he's like over 10,000 years old or something like that. I'm not even sure. Lore-wise, I know quite a bit of general lore about Warhammer 40k. I'm not a grandmaster at it nearly as much as, say, if I was talking about the Skaven from regular Warhammer, which I know a large amount of lore about. But anyways, so there's, like I just said, that's the Space Marines. Chaos are basically the Space Marines that have turned to the forces of Chaos. And in Warhammer, the four gods of Chaos were divided into separate entities, but now in Warhammer 40k, they're all just basically working together now to try and enslave everything, the entire universe. They want to turn everything to chaos, and they come from, like as the intro said, the warp. And the warp is awful, terrible, terrible place. Let's see, there's also the Dark. Oh, so badass. Archon Tariel of the Black Heart Cabal, yes. And they're all about like torture and suffering, just taking people as slaves. They're fun to play as a race because their builder units work like, if anyone's ever played StarCraft with the Protoss, to where you bring your builder unit up to something, and you start the creation of it, but then that building will complete on its own. So your builders, you can take, and you have a few of them or whatever like that. You go build, and then you can just go. So you don't have to be locked down. Build. It's gonna take forever. And then conversely, there is great bit of Eldar, Farseer Karis, who she actually gets a huge following because of her role in Dawn of War 2, I believe. Dawn of War 2, I think I've mentioned this in other games, by the way, guys, is a totally different game. Like, not just in terms of, like, it's a sequel, Ubergamer, of course it's going to be a totally different game. Like, no. It's not even really a turn-based combat game. It's more squad-based combat. And Slash, working with heroes. And so you get to go through game, you gain resources, you level up your characters, you get new characters. I was so addicted to it. Thank you, Steam and Relic Games and Games Workshop, for the one free weekend you had of it. I had so much fun playing Dawn of War 2. I just had to buy it, and this has been the main reason why I'm blowing through Soulstorm, was because I was like, I really, really, really want to play Dawn of War 2, and I hadn't beaten all of this. I hadn't beaten all of Dark Crusade either. I have for sure beaten it to completion as Chaos on both easy, normal, and hard. Because, like I said, I did it through as Chaos on hard. I realized I would not get the final piece of war gear I needed, or the second to final piece of war gear I needed, because of not being able to beat. No, it was the final one, because of not being able to beat one of the computer opponents. So that war gear requirement, I couldn't get it. Spoiler, the last piece of war gear for Chaos turns this big bad motherfucker into a giant Demon Prince. Demon Prince is OP as hell. Although granted it is sucky that it's kind of taking away that unit from your armies. Like, say that unit is new to the regular gameplay, so if you're doing multiplayer or skirmish, you can play as Chaos and play as the Chaos Lord. And you can also train an additional Chaos Prince that will come and stomp around with you. In the single-player game, though, you don't get to build him as an extra unit, so you're kind of gypped in that way. Sorry, apparently saying gypped is it's a bad term. I apologize for that. It has some bad racial history. I wasn't aware of. I need to stop using it. But anyways, cheated. You were cheated out of having that extra, which kind of sucks. It's kind of like, but it is fun of going and being able to build up and get all of his war gear or whatnot and be like, God, he looks so badass. But speaking of, I think one of my favorite transformations is such a cool animation. I love that. I love animation in video games, guys. I appreciate so much stuff about video games and the way people came out. Did you know that many times, I will just take and watch an intro to a game or whatever, just because I appreciate all the work, all the hard work that some game maker put into that, or whatever, or like this, like right now, just take a look at this and I have to think about the animation of like someone had to make particles and stuff like that, so this skull would glow. They had to animate this guy to do that specific animation because he does not do it in the game ever. And going through, someone had to take and draw him like this all digitally and then animate everything and do all the textures for his helmet. It's just fantastic. It's a very high quality game, at least I think so. Lots of the sound is spot on, the music is great, the graphics are good. Even though now it looks a little dated, but still, I mean, this game came out quite a while ago. But it's still good and fun. Which is why on my channel I'm kind of trying to focus more on games that maybe people don't play as much, older games, because also I can't play newer games. It all works out. But like I was saying, speaking of the war gear that this guy can get is amazing. He has his own kind of bodyguards. He has two guys that have kind of like blaster. It's kind of like a blaster blade staff or something. His bodyguards, and you can get items that will increase him to get this cool. It's kind of gross, you guys, but it's like actually it's awesome. It's like a mask made of someone else's face that's stretched across his. I would show you, but that kind of be a spoiler. And this is a bit minor spoilers. You can look at all the war gear when you first get them, so don't worry, I'm not like super spoiling anything. And you can gain cool, like that gauntlet becomes much bigger. It's a cool gun. There's the Farseer Eldar, Farseer Karis, rather, the Eldar. She's cool. General Dance Stubbs is probably my favorite, though. He just looks so badass, and he's so tanky. Like, he just gets to be so tanky, and it's almost impossible to fully take him out, because, like, with the Tarel guy, Dark Eldar guy, he can build additional guys, too, but he can have more of them. Not more of himself, obviously, but there's, like, you can choose to build, like, say, a Psyker, or a Psychic, or whatever, and the Psyker has, like, a little, like, laser blaster, but he also, say, can shoot freaking lightning. Or you can build, the Fanatic guy who wields a chain sword, which is a chainsaw sword. Sorry, like, search your feelings, you know it to be true. A lightsaber is one of the coolest weapons of all time. It kind of falls a bit behind a freaking chainsaw sword, in my opinion. And of course, the coolest weapon of all time, Final Fantasy VIII, the Gunblade. I mean, it's a gun, it's a sword, it's a gunblade. It's the coolest thing ever. Although his cool, like, these, like, they're not really cool, well, kind of Wolverine claws. They aren't actually in his arm, but they're on top of it. Claws, power claws, machine guns on his hands, too, because why the fuck not? And he has a gun, because still, why the fuck not? I forgot I haven't really been describing much about these races. Well, the Eldar can see into the future. They have psychic powers. The Farseer Karis has the strongest powers of anyone else. Like, she can cause this huge, like, psychic storm that just wrecks everything in the area. I could spend forever just talking about the game. This is probably like already a half-hour long video. I know that most gaming videos aren't very popular for 20 minutes. Maybe that's my issue. That's too long-winded on gameplay, too much talking. But there's the Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard are all part of a kind of a triumvirate that work along with mankind. So there's the Space Marines, there's the Imperial Guard, the Sisters of Battle, nice chainsword there, and also really nice chainsword, the Space Marines. So all three of them they all work for the Empire, but that doesn't mean that sometimes they don't fight among themselves, like what is happening here. Basically, the Imperial Guard feel like it's not their fault that this freaking warp storm showed up. So General Vance Stubbs has come to this system to defend it from chaos from everyone else. But unfortunately, the Sisters of Battle feel that, well, there's some heresy going on. The Sisters of Battle, they're like, oh, well, we're just going to have to burn everything. You know, which, when you're dealing with the forces of chaos, sometimes you just kind of gotta, burn everything. But, anyways, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Imperial Guard myself, because they have a lot of like self-sacrifice type things, and that's like a big kind of theme that I'm a fan of. Like, really dig. Like, you have to, sacrifice stuff for the greater good, as it were. And I apologize. My squeaky chair, I dropped my lid. So, yeah, so they're cool. You can, if you've been reading here, the text, your General Vance Stubbs, newly appointed to the 252nd Kalrava Conservator Regiment, you must be stronger and more disciplined than your predecessor and reassert the Imperial Guard's right to rule the Kalrava system. Strike the alien and the heretic before you, but keep an eye open for elements of the Imperium who do not respect the worth of the Imperial Guard. Bonus power, decreased production costs. That's right, I almost forgot to mention. Every race also starts off with a racial bonus. That also, if you are able to capture the territory of another enemy race, you can take over their racial bonus in this system. And it's something based upon both that territory and that race. It's mostly that race. It does seem kind of weird at times that that's the orcs. The orcs have bonus power fast population growth, which is both one of the most powerful and one of the most useless of the powers, because it can help you. How earlier I was talking about the requisition, and like you can gain more. You have to spend your requisition to pay for guys in your honor guard and in your territories. With a fast population growth, you will randomly get those guys for free, like a roll the dice. Sometimes you get something awesome, and you'll get like a fast population growth, and you'll gain one of your honor guard guys that's like 800 requisition or something crazy, or you'll gain a ton of it, or you won't get jack shit. So that's kind of how that goes. I'll get to the orcs in just a second. But yeah, like I said, say the Imperial Guard have decreased production costs, which is fantastic. It was one of my favorite abilities starting off. It makes playing through the Imperial Guard that much more fun, because I could, right from the bat, I could cheaply reinforce places, buy more units, buy more honor guard, place my honor guard for cheaper. Your honor guard, by the way, don't go away if they die. Don't worry about that. Just retrain them. I just kind of view it as like they were, mortally wounded in battle, and that they had to go get healed up in the dock. But anyways, on to there's the Necrons. Talk about the Necrons are the big nasties right now in the Dawn of War world. This Dawn of War world, one of the many ones. Basically, they're just a plague upon life. They're fueled by necromantic technological energy. It's kind of a mix. Their generators you could use for, like, say, the Eldar could come and use them, or the Orcs or whatever like that, but it also fuels their entire race. They're the only race that doesn't use, in the missions, the regular requisition resource for anything. They only use power. They only need power, because it's like, they're not... I'm trying to find the way to best describe this. like say it's the Imperial Guard, you need to pay, you need to have some sort of resources to be able to, say, build a tank, or, you know, get a guy with a, you know, body armor and a laser rifle or whatever. You can't just make that with power. The Necrons can. All they need is power. They have all this stuff, like meat, whatever, not their meat, their metal, you know, their biological metal. It's there already. All they need to do is turn on the juice. So they're very fun to play. The Necron Lord, you get war gear in addition to in the game as you play them. You get to build this cool, it's called the Reliquary of Artifacts or something. So he basically opens up his big ass Necron treasure chest full of magic items, and he gets to pick which one do I want to have for this battle, and you can customize, you know, further for that. That's fun. And he gets to, if you capture a relic in a specific map, you get to have your super unit. And for the Necrons, that's him transforming into a god temporarily, which is called the Great Deceiver. It's basically, it looks like a giant fucking Grim Reaper. Knows the Ubergamer knows I'm super into like dark art like that, like skulls, death, Grim Reaper, just death and shit like that. So I eat all that shit up. And next on the list we have the orcs. And for anyone who saw my orc playthrough knows how much I love, cherish, and adore the orcs. I love getting a good wog going, orky battle cry. And he's so much fun. He is the biggest health tank in the game. Like, he just gets massive. He has a cool banner for his orc here. Orcs were super fun, except they get the fast population growth. This is War Boss Goreguts, who's been around since Dawn of War, Winter Assault, and he just keeps not dying, which I love. He's just such a become a wonderful staple in these games, and he's always fun. He's always fun to fight against. He's fun to play as. He's just got a very orky personality, very aggressive. There's a new group, the new guys. The Sisters of Battle, of course, got some nice booty armor going on. Bolter pistol, chainsaw, cool looking sensor, got fire, until the physical, like there's a little physical halo going on. So these guys are actually blessed by the Emperor. What was this? Candace Selena Agna. She was really awesome. I mean, I was kind of, I played as the Sisters of Battle, I think, one time when I first got this, and I was like, wow, they're pretty strong, but they're kind of weird. But then I just fell in love with the Sisters of Battle. And then, like, obviously, just love females myself. I just love women. But, yeah, she is just so wonderful. I mean, they're so much fun to play. I literally can't wait. I hope there's some interest or something to do with them. Dawn of War 2, I own all the DLC for Dawn of War 2. I played it that 1 week, and I haven't let myself touch it. Sort of like how I own Skyrim. I own a copy of Skyrim, both for 360 and for PC, but I won't let myself play it until I beat Oblivion. Maybe someday. Maybe that's the video series of it. Anyways, and then we have Force Commander Boreal. I talked about the Force Marines, so I don't really need to talk too much about them. Well, there's a bonus power of Deep Strike Squads. I need to remind myself of how to use this myself, because I'd forgotten a couple times. If you're playing as the Space Marines, or if you're managed to beat them, and you get the Deep Strike Squads, it's not readily apparent how you use them. And what you do is you go to your own headquarters, and you go through like you're going to reinforce, like, you know, build more units or build more buildings. But you keep going, and there'll be a third new tab. If you're playing as a Space Marine, a third tab where it'll say Deep Strike, and then you can train Deep Strike Squads. And then when you go to attack any settlement that is not a boss battle or not a headquarters, essentially you will be able to use those Deep Strike units the same way. You would go through and select how many Honor Guard you're taking with you. If you bring Honor Guard with you, you'd be able to select if There's another, the bonus from the Sisters of Battle for bases means that you can build buildings in advance before you start the mission. So you're starting a mission with your basic buildings in place if you want, or if you can afford to. So you go through Honor Guard, forward bases, and then deep strike squads. So hopefully that clears that up if there's, or even if there's just someone who's a Dawn of War fan, just randomly comes across my video and is like, oh, hey, I never could figure that out, or whatever. I didn't Google it. I Google some stuff, watch videos. Anyways, and then finally there's the Tau. Excuse me. Oh, really? Huh. That's funny. It's not talking about, so the Tau. I noticed that he's got like kind of hooves. Or if he's like a horse person. It's weird. The Tau believe in the greater good, it's called. It's a nice way of saying that they still want to conquer everyone and be dicks about it, but they're gonna say, well, we're doing it because we're good guys. And they're kind of good guys. I mean, in the Soulstorm, I mean, considering they are some of the better guys. I mean, the good guys are basically the Tau, the Space Marines, the Sisters of Battle, Imperial Guard, and that's about it. So leaving the Chaos, Dark Eldar, Necrons, and Orcs with the bad guys. So about 5 good guys, 4 bad guys. Really awesome if they added, at some point, I think they've done over 2. Another race from, Warhammer 40k is known as the Tyranid, sorry. So basically think, if you took aliens, like from the movie series Aliens, and gave them psionic powers and made them that much more terrifying. That's Tyranids. The thing is, though, it'd probably be super difficult to program them as an actual playable race in Dawn of War, because they just don't. There's not really that much background. Not background. It'd be very difficult to have them be like, okay, and this is this building, and these builder units and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I can kind of see why they would do this. Taking this 2 years. I'm very thirsty. Quite warm where I live here in my secret lair, deep within the mists of Shangri-La, aka the Pacific Northwest of the United States. Stop messing with this. But anyways, you guys, and then there's the Tau. Like I said, they get this cool Arca space cannon they're talking about. But yeah, so that's just kind of my my Dawn of War video. I don't know, at this point it's gone on quite a bit longer. Playing, like I said, I was planning on just doing a skirmish game just for fun, but I was thinking, I think I'll probably just call this What is Dawn of War Soulstorm? And I'll leave you guys with a bit of wisdom here, like it says in here. If a job's worth doing, it's worth dying for. So, Ubergamer, it's my job. I'm hoping this was entertaining. I know I rambled a lot. Just a bit more scattered. Hopefully it was entertaining. You guys had fun. Maybe I'll do just some random videos of me building the computer in the skirmish mode for fun. Just because I just got done doing the 100% of it, it's every race, I don't think I'm going to do a full-on playthrough of this. I might go do a playthrough of the first Dawn of War game, because that is amazing fun. Yeah, anyways, if you got this far, thank you so much for watching, being part of my channel. I hope I will see you guys again soon. Later.